My name is David Simon. I guess I have two titles currently. One is the Executive Vice President of the Jefferson Health System, which is located in the Philadelphia area. And I'm also, as of just a few weeks ago, the Chairman of the Delaware River Port Authority of New Jersey and Pennsylvania. When I was here at UB, one of the most fundamental principles that seemed to be in every one of the junior level and senior level courses was to be goal-oriented. I remember that very, very clearly, and I carry that lesson with me to everything I do. And frankly, a lot of lawyers are not goal-oriented, they're more process-oriented. So that philosophy is something, whether it's a piece of litigation or a contract or a merger or whatever the thing is that I'm working on at a particular time, or I'm working on for someone else, for a client at a particular time, I never forget that most fundamental lesson, that whatever you're doing is designed to get to the point where you achieve something, not just for the sake of doing it and going through the motions. And not, especially in the legal world, where you have a lot of people who don't have that business background, you don't necessarily see folks who are oriented towards helping their clients achieve a goal. I first started getting involved with the school back in the mid-90s when I was at US Healthcare. And I have a very strong affection for the school. I grew up in a housing project in Brooklyn, and pretty much my first exposure to anything that was the least bit sophisticated was here in Buffalo. I joined the Dean's Advisory Council pretty much soon after it was formed in the mid-90s. And somewhere around the time I started at the Jefferson Health System, I was asked by the dean to be the first chair of the DAC. And we set up 4 committees that were very much focused on the 4 key areas where the dean wanted us to get involved at the time. One was accreditation, by way of example. One was recruiting in terms of job development for graduates, and we had 2 other groups. We were very focused. If you've gotten a theme from how I approach things, we were very focused in accomplishing something to help the school in each of those 4 areas and the DAC as a whole. I think we did a good job. After 2 years, I turned the reins over, and I've stayed involved ever since. When I was here, there were a whole variety of professors who I think influenced me. And whether it was marketing, I remember the marketing professors I had were delightful, and I still use some of the lessons that I learned back then today. Public policy, I thought, was tremendous. And oddly, accounting, because one of the things that's very helpful to me in my current role is, for example, spending all of the morning yesterday looking at budgets. Most lawyers don't know anything about accounting. They don't know anything about auditing. They have no background in that area. Well, if I'm looking at a budget, I think I do know what I'm looking at. I can ask the right questions as a member of management, or in the case yesterday as chairman of the board, and try to drill down to things. And again, as I said earlier, the only management training I've had, except on the job training, was at the University of Buffalo. One of the things that really helped me in terms of my career were my extracurricular activities. I worked at WBFO, I was assistant chief engineer. I worked at the Spectrum, I was the business manager, and I was also pretty active in student government. And I didn't realize at the time that those were 3 internships. And today you would call them an internship if they were with an outside company, but in reality I was on campus, including one summer at the Spectrum. And as business manager of the Spectrum, I had to learn about budgets, I had to learn about personnel. We had a print shop that we ran. I had to worry about advertising revenue and whether we had enough revenue to finance the printing of the newspaper. I had to do battle with the editorial staff because they always wanted more space for their articles. Whether or not we had enough money to fund that was really my call at the time. So when I entered the business world, I had that internship experience. I didn't really realize I had while I was going through it. That wasn't as much the classwork as it was dedication to extracurricular activities. My home away from home was Norton Hall. I had an office there. I'd leave class, that's where I'd go. and maybe I'd get back to my apartment at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So I didn't realize at the time how helpful that was going to be to me, in my career.